What's up, you guys? My name's Red, and on today's RC vlog, I am going to show you how to properly fill your Trx4 shocks. We are also going to put new wheels and tires on, as well as slap in a new servo. So let's go ahead and get started without wasting any more time. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what we got today. All right, so first and foremost, you guys, if you've watched my last video on the breakdown of the Bronco, you know that I was in need of a new servo already, and I said I had one on order. Well, it has finally arrived. We're gonna go ahead and slap in this 45 kilogram high torque servo. It is 8.4 volt stainless steel gears, and it's waterproof. This is a coreless servo as well. It does come with a servo horn, upgraded metal one, some plastic pieces as well, just in case you're fitting into something that needs those. And I am really hoping, you guys, that this is a huge step up from the one that comes in it. Now, I didn't go exactly cheap as possible, but I didn't want to go super high end yet because, let's face it, I just bought the thing and I really wasn't expecting to put a new servo in right away. All right, next up, you guys, we have some Injora bead locks. You guys, these I'm hoping as well is going to be a massive upgrade from the tire I have. I really like the looks of these ones. These do add a lot of weight already. Just by the feel of these weigh more than probably all four of the tires together. The wheels looked pretty sweet. Again, I didn't want to go super expensive or anything due to the fact that I really wasn't expecting to put any money into this rig right away. But here we are. All right, like I said, we have a set of Injora's 1.9 mud tires. They are offset 8.9 millimeter bead locks. These do come in 3 different colors, I do believe. And like I said, guys, they are a massive upgrade, I think, already, and I haven't even got them out of the package. All right, you guys, now it's time for me to go ahead and get set up in a comfortable position and go ahead and get ready to put these bead locks together, because we all know that is a lengthy process sometimes. So let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go ahead and open up these tires real quick and see what these are like. All right, so first thing that comes to mind is they feel nice and they feel actually sticky, nice and not like sticky like comp sticky, but they feel good. Not too thick, not too thin. Let's go ahead and take these foams out and see what those feel like and look like in there. All right, let's check out the foams real quick, guys. Let's see the bounce back on this foam. All right, not too bad. They're kind of stiff. It does cave in, and you see it takes a second to come back out. We'll see how that works. Not so sure about these. Maybe we'll upgrade these someday. But the tire itself, man, it's a really nice tire. It's a really nice tire so far. Overall, I think these are going to be really nice tire and a massive upgrade from the ones I have now. They kind of remind me a little bit of the Red Cat Gen 8 tires, the tread on there. So, and I like those. I hear mixed opinions about them, but I like them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stuff this back in there. We're going to set these aside, and then we'll take a look at the bead locks. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and take a look at these wheels now. These are from Injora. They fit 1.9s. Okay, right away, you guys, I can tell you that this has a lot more weight compared to the factory wheels that are on there. Granted, those are all plastic. These are not. I do think it's going to be a significant upgrade already compared to the wheels and tires that are on there. So let's go ahead and start taking these apart so we can get them put together. Sounds weird saying take something apart to get it put back together, but that's what we got to do. We got to take all of these apart and then put it all back together with the wheels on it. So let's go ahead and get into that, guys. First thing we're going to do is set these aside and start on this one by taking out the screws and separating our rim. Once we separate the rim, you can now see that we have the hub, back of the rim, we have the weight that goes inside, and we have the front of the rim. Now grab a tire and establish which side is going to be front and which side is going to be the back. Then grab your wheel weight, shove it inside your tire, and to make sure it's nicely inside, and then take the front of the rim and set it in place. Now grab the back of the rim and line it up with the front. At this point, I like to grab a screw and feed it through, flip it over, and take the hub and place it in the correct position and make sure it begins to thread properly. Then I put a second screw in, slowly tightening it while alternating between screws until the hub puts itself in place. Now it's time to check the bead. If you can see here, it looks slightly different from the rest. We cannot see the lip of the bead like we can here, so that means we are going to have to go ahead and lightly pull the tire out until we can start to see the lip like the rest of the tire. Now, don't pull too hard or it could come out too far, then you got to start over. Then when it looks the same, we can go ahead and finish the screws and move on. Also, don't forget to make sure all your treads of your tires are pointing in the same direction. This will ensure you will install the front and back on the correct side and they will go on the truck facing the right direction. All right, now that that's done, let's move on to the shocks. Easily remove your shocks by taking out this screw and then this top one out right here. Repeat on the other shocks and then you'll be ready for new oil. All right, you guys, real quick, I want to show you the difference between shocks that are done correctly and shocks that are not. 1, 2, 3 of them are compressed fully. Okay, that fourth one, if you can see there too, is compressed fully. As you can see though, this one has more exposed, which means this one has a little bit of air in there, which is not allowing it to go all the way up to the bottom of your shaft, okay? I'm gonna show you how to properly fill these shocks and how to get that air gap out of there and make all your shocks close perfectly all the way with no kickback. It comes out, there's no pull, there's no kickback, there's no nothing. Full extension, full compression, you guys, okay? Let me show you how you do that with this shock. You're gonna wanna start out by cleaning all the dirt and debris off. Empty your shocks. All right, now what you wanna do upon filling your shocks is you wanna fill it up. I'm gonna work that shaft, slowly work the shaft in and out to make sure you get all of that, all the air bubbles and everything like that out of there. Now, you're gonna spill a lot of oil out of here. And that's all right. I like to make sure it's completely full. There's no hole, there's no valve, there's nothing like that, so that way you can purge all the air out of these shocks. So what I like to do is I fully compress it, and then I'm going to put my cap on and go ahead and slowly, very slowly start to just go ahead and screw that on there. I hope you can see this. Very slowly screw that on. That's going to force out a lot of extra oil, and at the same time we're hoping that that's going to force out all of our air bubbles, which will then in turn make it fully compressed with no airlock either way. When I'm done here, you can see it didn't work all the way, correct? I still got some airlock in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that cap. I like to pop it all the way off. That's what seems to work for me. And then I'm going to fully compress nice and slow. Fully compressed. I'll go ahead and slowly again. Again, nice and slowly. Put this cap back on. You're going to see more oil. More air. Just going to slowly put that on. Slowly purge that air out of there. One of the things I think is key to shocks is just taking your time, doing it nice and slow, making sure you're getting all that air out of there. If you go too fast, you're going to shove some air in there while you're trying to take it out, you know what I'm saying? Alright, seem to have gotten better on that one. I'm going to do it one more time. Not fully compressed. So, let's pop that cap again. And as I pop that cap, I'm going to push. Pop the cap completely off. Put it back on again, you guys. Nice and easy. Nice and slow. Then I'm going to keep repeating this process until I get every little bit of air out of there and I get full compression out of my shock with no airlock. There you have it. Full compression. Now, you should be able to work your shock in and out. Full compression with no pullback, no pushback, which means there's no air in there. There you have it, you guys. The proper way to actually get the air out of your shocks and then have full compression out of every single one of your shocks. So that way you ensure you get everything that you're asking for, you know what I mean? I gotta go wipe my hands up all this oil. While I'm capping this, I just want to let you know, like I said earlier, I do think that doing shocks, it's all about patience. You have to have patience. You have to do it slow. It's not a job you can rush. I do believe that if you rush it, that's how you're going to get most of your air inside of your shocks, believe it or not. I mean, take your time, and as you can see, you can get full compression, no airlock. We're going to go ahead and we're going to slap on all of our springs and assemble it back to normal, and then we will have new shock oil in there with some a thinner weight, and hopefully we'll get a little more flex and a little more play out of our shocks. Okay, let's change this servo by taking out the 4 screws that hold it in. Then follow the wire to the receiver box where we will have to get into to unplug the old servo. Now unscrew the servo horn. Before you install your new servo, make sure you put some thread lock on and tighten the servo horn into position. Now before we close it all up, you will want to make sure this little blue seal here is in position and it's on correctly. This is what helps keep this compartment dry, as well as making sure these wires are in the slots provided before installing the caps. Then all we need to do is replace the caps, then the screws, and then the servo will be complete. Now, that looks amazing, right? Am I right? That looks really good. But we have a problem. We have an issue, you guys. These tires are just a bit too big. So that way when I get to full compression, I'm rubbing hardcore. I come to a turn, and I mean, you see, before I even compress, I'm about to rub. And then as soon as I start to compress a little, you guys, massive rubbing. I'm hitting everywhere. You can see here, I mean, massive tire rub. Unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to use these tires on here unless I have a lift kit. All right, you guys, so as you can see there, I have massive tire rub on this thing, which is unfortunate. I really want these tires on here as well as the wheels. I don't know. All right, you guys, after a little bit of trial and error, I figured out a solution to my tire and wheel problem with the Bronco. The Enduro ones that I bought were a little bit too big for these. It was hitting, it was rubbing everywhere. I mean, it was hitting hardcore. So what I went ahead and did, as you can see here, is I took the rims and tires off of the Gen 8 and I put them on the Bronco. It works. It has real minimal tire rub. If you can see here at full extension, they put that down, full extension here, I get a little bit of rub there. It's not a lot, so I'm not super worried about it. I don't get much in here. A little bit in there on the skid plate, but not a bunch. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I think it looks really good. I got the bead locks on there, and the tires from the Red Cat. Then I went ahead and I put the tires from Endura and rims from Endura right here on the Red Cat, as you can see. I again get a little bit of tire rub when I'm turned. I had quite a bit of tire rub up in here, so I did have to trim some of the body up underneath the wheel well. I do still have some tire rub, which I do not really like, as you can see here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run with it for now. I'm gonna go out on a test run before I do any crazy body trimming or anything like that. And if it's still a problem, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come through here and trim some of this wheel well out, I think, and thin it down to about underneath the screws, somewhere in there. Leave a little piece, And then I'll trim the body underneath there as well, and then we'll go from there. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it how it is. So there you have it, you guys. My Enduro tires were just a little bit too big, a little too wide for the Bronco. They're looking good, and hopefully will work good on the Gen 8. The Gen 8s are now on the Bronco, and I think that looks, I think that looks good. You know what I'm saying? I think that has a really nice look to it, and I think with all that extra tread and grip, I think I'm actually going to get a nice grab on things for crawling it out on the trail. So, all right, you guys, appreciate you guys watching. I hope I earned your subscription. Hit that thumbs up. If you don't mind, go ahead and even share and turn on them notification bells. Go grab a remote. Go get out and have some fun, you guys. I'll see you on the next one.